Joining me today live in the studio on Friday, August 22nd, I've got Tyler J Ashton. He is on a very special mission. He has been cycling. He started on Vancouver Island, March 1st. He is cycling across Canada. Tyler, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so I did. I cycled across Canada in 3 months in winter.
Yeah, it was cold when you came first time.
I was wearing it too. Yeah, and a sweater and many layers of thermals.
Yes.
Yeah.
So before we get into the logistics, because I cannot wait to hear about that, I would love to know, as would our listeners, why are you doing this?
So I have an autoimmune disease called AS, or Ankylosing Spondylitis. More people have it than ALS, MS, and RA combined, so that's more than 500,000 Canadians.
Wow.
And worst case late stage prognosis is spinal fusion. So essentially, the way that it would work is my spine would fuse itself, I'd be immobile in a wheelchair. Now, that's worst case. I'm hopeful with nutrition, exercise, and the biologic, the medication injection that I take once a week will help slow that progression down. There's still no cure. However, that biologic I mentioned helps reduce a lot of my symptoms, and that's why I'm able to do the things that I'm doing right now. Without that, I fall to pieces.
Cycling across Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to know, you came through, now you're coming back. What has it been like? Like you said, 90 days or longer?
Well, yeah, so I cleared the country in 3 months.
Amazing.
I mean, well, Samantha, anyways, in 3 months. Let's go with that.
Yes.
It was like a day or two more, but
Yeah.
I was on the other side of Newfoundland.
Right.
The other ferry wasn't sailing. So if I were to do the math
Yes.
and go how far I rode into Newfoundland, I would have made it to St. John's. Would I have taken the longer ferry?
Right. Okay.
3 months.
What has that been like?
It was incredible. You know, before I started this, I'd never been further east than Medicine Hat, Alberta. So every day has been an adventure, even coming through here. But I would have to say the most exciting part is coming back. You know, when I got to Cape Spear in Newfoundland, I got to, like, I thought I would have that feeling inside me, like, oh yeah, I accomplished it, big check mark. It was a very low point for me, because I kind of got there and I felt like, oh, this is just the relay cone at the end of the track. I kind of have to turn around and head back now.
So that was not in your plans?
Well, no, I mean, originally when I had an electric bike and electric trailer, like a solar powered trailer, that was in my plans, because that would be, within a human's capabilities. But then, yeah, so I had scaled back and I was going to fly back from Toronto. But then when I hit Nova Scotia again and I went down into Halifax, I think it was day 2 on the Trans-Canada Trail. It was sometime either right before or right after I got chased by the fisher. But I was on softball-sized gravel. You know, the stakes are so high. I make one wrong turn and I blow a rim or some spokes, and I'm in the middle of the bush by myself, and it's just so exciting. I was thrilled, and I knew in that moment, I was like, I have to get to the other side of the country again, and I got to follow this through. And it was what I originally had set out and intended to do. So if I'm anything, I'm a man of my word. So I said I was going to cycle across this country. I did that in 3 months, and now I'm going back. And I have really, really big plans and things set up for next year. Oh, just wait. You think cycling across Canada and back is a long distance? Yeah, wait till next year.
It is a long distance, by the way. That is absolutely amazing. I would love to know, are there any specific stories that stand out, interesting places and or people, hopefully kind people that you met along the way? Let me know.
Oh, like you can't just pick one. I mean, so the thing about this journey and I run on a budget of oatmeal and generosity. So relying on the kindness and generosity of strangers is been the most incredible thing I've ever experienced. I meet people almost every day that get to hear about my story, learn about AS, and then I'm walking away and they're helping me out in some way so that I can keep trying to help others. And that has been the coolest experience for me. As far as places, this country is beautiful. Like, I hear so many people complain about their province or the one next to them, or, I hear a lot of people say Saskatchewan's flat. I've ridden my bike through Saskatchewan. It's not flat, guys. It's just a bunch of rolling hills. But it's beautiful. And then coming through this country a second time, getting to see it in a different light without snow on the ground, it's like a different planet. Like, even here in Winnipeg, like, my mind has been blown. This is a different city at this time of year, like, compared to when I left last time. But I would have to say, the last kind of week of my life has been a whirlwind with the thunderstorms and everything and dodging those. And I had a broken bottom bracket in just before I hit Fort Francis. And I ran into this couple at a gas station. They were on motorcycles. They had a tent on one of the back of their bikes. So I asked them a question. The next thing I know, I thought they left, but she came back in and she gave me her address and her phone number and said, "Hey, we're a little over 100 kilometers away. If it fits in your 100 kilometers a day, you're more than welcome to stay with us." So it was perfect. I stayed with them. It was the most incredible experience. They let me stay a few more nights and then gave me a ride to Kenora so that I could get my bottom bracket for my friend, get it replaced, and then I'm back on the road here in Winnipeg.
Wow.
So there's so many little stories like that happen all over this trip where it just dominoes down the line. And I mean, I have connections that started from Victoria and have dominoed across this entire country, and now it's going back. So it's just incredible to see that sense of community alive and well within our world, and within our country.
Absolutely. I know there's so many things that are often glaringly divisive, but the fact that you chose to do this and you are deeply depending on people around you that you don't know, and you are seeing people rise is very encouraging. So thank you for stopping by again. Really appreciate it. And it's a lot nicer here in Winnipeg than when you stopped first.
I do really like the sun. It's nice. And also I don't have the tan line on my forehead from my helmet.
Logistically, like, how do you do this? Like, you don't have anyone driving with you, correct?
No support. So I do.
Meals,
so
sleeping, like literally at the whim of. Do you sleep outside sometimes? Like what?
all the time. So I mean, I'm mostly alone. But here's the thing: I'm not. I'm never really alone. I have a med team that helps me out, and they make this possible. So without McKesson Specialty Pharmacy and MGen, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. They've made it possible so that I can have my weekly injections where I need it, when I need it. So right there, and having met a lot of the team that's behind this has been incredibly humbling, knowing there's so many people playing a role in making what I'm doing possible. That's huge. But outside of that, I use a community called Warm Showers, which is a community of like-minded people that want to help travelers out. So that's been phenomenal. And I get to meet people in there that have done similar things to what I'm doing. And I get to learn from their experiences and their stories, from their hardest moments, because generally it's the hardest moments that turn out to be your best days, because it's always overcoming adversity and growing as a human, right? So I'm always excited to hear stories like that, because I get to grow too. But outside of that, I'm kind of all alone. Like I ride over 100 kilometers a day. I find a flat spot to set up a tent on. I cook my dinner. I make a social media post. I generally fall asleep while making that social media post. I wake up, I tear down my camp, and I do it all again the next day.
Wow.
It's just, I guess I've gotten into a rhythm, and somehow, there are days that are harder than others, and they're really tough to get through. But I always know on the other side of those days, I'll be better for them. So there's always that in the back of my mind in those moments that I kind of have to shift my perspective and remind myself, just keep pushing a little bit more. Because, whenever we hit that limit, there's always at least another 40% in the tank. So you just got to access it and push on.
That is incredible. I will say from our city, there is an ultramarathonist. He cycled across Canada. He actually broke the Guinness World Record in his 60s doing it. His name is Arvid Lowen. I don't know if you know that name. But anyway, his book, he talks about that too. You think your physical limit is the end, but actually you have more in the tank. So that just reminded me of him. You are incredible and an inspiration. If people want to follow your journey, like you were talking about social media posts, and help support you and AS, please let us know how we can do that.
Okay, so I have an easy way to do this. I have a link tree. And what that does is it'll give you all my social media links. I have a GoFundMe, which helps me directly and for bike expenses and logistics. And then I also have a website that's partnered with the Canadian Spondyloarthritis Association. It's called electrifyas.ca. That's also on my link tree, and more information on the disease and the charity. So if you want to donate directly to the charity, you can do it through electrifyas.ca, and the GoFundMe is to help me out.
Okay, awesome. The link tree, how do people find that?
So that's on my social profiles. I kind of try to leave breadcrumbs everywhere so everybody could always get back to it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I can give that to you, and maybe we can put that out in a post, and then they have access that way as well.
That's perfect.
But if you also, I've heard, I don't know if this is true. Someone told me that I'm Googleable now.
Oh.
So if you Google my name, Tyler J Ashton, apparently I pop up.
Excellent. You know, bikes are made to ride kind of leisurely, probably even like the super amazing. Like your bike must break down. How often are you doing repairs or finding yourself doing repairs? And how difficult is that for you on the road?
Well, it depends on what breaks, right? I generally have everything I need on me to fix my bike.
Wow.
I mean, other than a bottom bracket, which most people don't carry a spare bottom bracket. But for next year's trip that I was telling you about that I have yet to announce, I'm going to make sure I have the wrench and I'm going to have a spare bottom bracket on me because, I mean, when you're in South America, the parts are going to be tough to find. I mean, what? Yeah, no, it's tough. It's something I got to work on every day. And I do have to, like you said, I put a lot of wear and tear on the bike and more than probably what a lot of people do to bikes. And so that's something I have to check every other day.
Yeah.
You know, when you're doing 100 kilometers a day, generally you want to check your bike at the end of the day. So if the bare minimum, I'm checking it every 2 to 3 days.
Wow. Yeah. So you have everything for, like, let's say if your tire goes flat, you're probably good.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I got a
Nice.
couple flats in me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
I generally carry a couple spare tubes just because, you know, a lot of the roads I'm on, I won't see anything for, you know, a few 100 kilometers at least.
Between Toronto and Winnipeg, there's only a few major spots to stop, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Honestly, I would say one of the tougher stretches would be, as far as places to stop, would be, I think, between the Sault Ste. Marie and Thunder Bay, going along the Great Lake. Like, I mean, you could go the inland route through Dryden and you know, take the easy way, but you could also go along the Great Lake and enjoy the views both ways. And I got to tell you what, that was some of the best riding I've ever done. Being able to see Lake Superior in the winter when there was like ice everywhere, and then coming back that same way in the summer, it's like a whole different planet. It's so cool.
that's amazing. I love it. Well, really, Tyler, thank you so much for coming back and sharing your story. It is always a pleasure. I want to hear more about next year. Once you officially announce it,
Yeah.
please let us know. But is there anything else you want to share today?
No, just thank you so much for having me, and I'm just so excited to get back to the West Coast.
Absolutely. I hope that ride is truly amazing for you.
Thank you so much.